Good to go. All right, it's Tuesday, March 11th, West Bath Planning Board meeting, being called to order. I'm Gabe Whitney,
Jim Williams.
Chris Cunningham.
Jerry Mitchell.
and we have established a quorum. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
No.
Thank you. All right, so our first applicant is James and Sarah Jocelyn,
Jocelyn.
and they're gonna be joining us on video.
Well,
Are we doing it?
if this is something we want to do, I mean, it certainly might set a precedent, but we've always seen people in person, and I think it's our option if we want to hear this person remotely or not. I think it's preferred to have people in person, however, in this particular case, he didn't want to spread his germs around, apparently, but he still wants to start the process. And this is only the sketch plan.
Okay.
So, it's up to the board as a whole. I mean, I'm just one person. I don't have any problem with it.
I don't have a problem with
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the sketch plan, but I understand what you mean about setting a precedent and being able to come in and advocate for yourself. But yeah,
Apparently, Jonathan, you said earlier that there's nothing in the ordinance that you're aware of that requires people in person?
I don't believe that there's anything in there that says that you can't do it the way that you're doing it if you decide to, allow him to be on speakerphone.
So, I did look through it. I couldn't find anything either,
There's
so.
nothing I'm aware of. He is definitely sick. I heard his voice. He would like to, be able to move forward with it, but we told him that the board would decide and we'd call him if you decided to allow it, so.
So, do you think we need a vote?
I think, in my opinion, I guess if I were on the board, I'd
Okay.
put that to vote.
all right.
I move that we, on this particular instance, for just a sketch plan, that we do conference calls, okay? With the applicant.
Yeah, I second. All in favor? All right, maybe that's something we address in the,
Yeah, it should be addressed in the ordinance if we want. So can you dial them up?
You guys want to look and discuss anything first, or do you want me to dial them right now?
yeah, let's take a quick look.
He can dial them up and
Oh, this
he
is-
can do his presentation and
Yeah,
then we can go through with questions or whatever.
it. I remember he came, remember he did the 3-lot subdivision across the street.
Yeah.
But he did bring this application in one time. Do you remember that?
yeah.
This one? I
Yeah.
haven't-
Yeah, he just kind of ran it by you.
Yeah, so he did kind of go over it,
Yeah,
So that
I remember seeing those.
almost qualified as the sketch, but I think the public notice thing, I don't think the legalities of public notice, that's what we can do it that way.
That's right, yeah.
So that can be our exemption too, for doing it over the phone.
Oh, I see, sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
The only question I had, I know that it looks like there's a shared driveway for all 3 lots. Well, it says for lots 2 and 3, I guess. So for 2 of the lots, is that how you guys are interpreting that? An old Pote Road, proposed driveway easement?
Yeah, so that's
Is
interesting.
the tote road where the driveway's gonna go? Well,
So,
that's one
It's-
question we can ask
there's a
him.
note
Oh,
that says
Oak Road, which is
proposed.
the
Yeah,
proposed driveway that will
yeah.
service all three of the lots.
All 3.
Oh, my version.
And
Hmm.
it would have to be built to spec.
Really? Even for 3 lots, John, huh?
That's subdivision road, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Did they do that because of the wetlands or because of sight lines or?
Oh, we'll find out.
My guess is the wetlands.
Yeah,
It could be the wetlands, it could be that it's pre-existing, it's,
'Cause there's
meets the
no,
contours, or, you know.
Yeah.
just seems like there's gonna be a lot of,
yeah, driveways are expensive.
lot of driveway, a lot of clearing of the road and,
The
and
driveways.
and within the 200 feet of zoning, shoreline zoning.
My guess is the wetland, because you can't get to that second lot without going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we call them up and we
Let's
can
get it
make a
going.
presentation and we can
Let's do it.
go from there. Can you phone stretch
Would you like to call a friend?
On friend?
how long is your cord, John? Will it leach over to the table or?
You should be able to hear them. The
You think
speaker's
we can-
usually.
I was
pretty-
thinking of him hearing us, actually.
You guys are pretty loud.
Kevin, it's John over the town of West Bath, here at the planning board meeting.
Hey, John. Thanks for calling me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
But I figured you guys don't want this quick.
Yeah, thank you for that. The board is here, they've taken a look at this, and they've got questions and kind of want to hear your presentation on it, so I'll turn it over to the planning board.
Okay, sounds good.
So who is this? Is this Kevin?
This is Kevin from
Yeah, okay.
Sidelights. Yep.
Hey, Kevin.
Good evening. How are you guys?
Good.
Lou,
So why don't you just go through what you want to do and what it looks like, and we've got the plans in front of us and copies that you provided.
This thing I look like.
Whenever you're ready, Kevin.
can you hear us?
What happened?
Oh, I bet you gotta hang it up.
Oh, wait. What did I do, hang up on him?
Can you hear me now?
No, John hung up on him.
I did.
I
The
told
thing
I
fell
told
off the
her.
receiver.
That happens.
Yeah, that thing, that's Carly.
That's funny.
Sorry about that. Accidentally hung up on you.
So can you hear us all right?
I can hear you now. I couldn't before. So
Yep.
You want me to go through the plan real quick and then you can ask the question?
Well,
Does that work for you guys?
Just tell us what you'd like to do and how you're gonna do it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. That's good. So we've got 12.8 acres. We could add the wetlands map, so there's like 0.7 acres, so there's not a lot of wetlands there. There are some steep slopes that we'll have to contend with. And what we're proposing to do is divide it into 3 lots. All of them would have the minimum 200 feet of frontage on the road and 150 on the shore. But 2 of them, just because of the wetlands at the front and some of the steep slopes on site, we would want to access them by a driveway easement as opposed to directly off the road. There doesn't need to be a road because we've got our frontage on the road, but we would bring in some profiles of those to show to you when we come in for a preliminary. Let's see, yeah, we're proposing everything, you know, some of the driveways will be in the 250 shoreline zone, while a good portion is outside of that, and not proposing anything inside the 75-foot setback. We've shown the setbacks based on the distance, 56 feet from the center line of Mountain Road, and then 20 feet on the sides, and the 75 on the shore.
So that the what's labeled as proposed driveway easement to lots 2 and 3, that is
Yeah.
that is going to be access for lot 2 and 3.
that would be where we would propose to access those.
Yes.
However, they would have,
Is,
adequate road frontage on
Yeah.
Mountain Road.
in
They
looking,
wouldn't be back lots, but these would just be easements to make access a little more easy. Lack of a better word.
okay, do you have, a letter of agent authorization and a
There
folder
is,
here?
it's 3 or 4 pages in.
Yep.
Okay, here we go, okay.
That should be around
Yeah, I see it.
page 8.
Thank you, I missed it. Okay, so your proposal is that each lot meet the 3-acre minimum, and you're meeting the minimum, at least the minimum on the road frontage and the shore frontage, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Lot 1 would have its own driveway off Mountain Road.
That's what we would anticipate, yes. Their own driveway. They've got a little more flatter real estate available.
So, because there are standards for roads within subdivisions, why wouldn't this be considered, why wouldn't this driveway, roadway be considered, as a subdivision road and have to meet those standards?
My contention would be is because it is not, we're not constructing it for the purpose of getting frontage to the lots. It's just a convenient access to the lots.
As you've described it though, the access directly off Mountain Road is not feasible. Is that correct?
I would never say anything's not feasible, but I would say not practical.
Okay.
But you could, technically, right, Kevin, you could get a permit to fill, to fill the wetlands, right? If you, if,
Yeah, you could get a permit to fill the wetlands and, you could do, blasting and so forth, but we never to avoid that.
I think,
I'd just like to add, for the purpose of 911 addressing, that would cause a pretty good problem for addresses for those 2 houses. If you have more than one building that's off, or more than one residence that's off of one roadway, the road basically has to be named, and they would have address numbers according to that road
Okay.
name and not on the mountain road. So just an observation of looking at this, that's a problem that I see.
Okay,
so they'd have to name the road.
Well, yeah, because
Right.
how are you, if we're accessing it with a fire truck from,
Yeah.
911, the state system would not appreciate that. I don't even know if I could get it through,
Yeah.
so. So, I don't, try to throw a wrench into your, your plan, Kevin, but that's just an observation that I have that could cause a problem, and,
okay, well, we'll definitely take a look at that.
and you and I can discuss it too, a little further maybe, and come up with some sort of a solution.
Sure thing.
All right.
Well, I guess I still don't understand why if that easement, that proposed driveway is for those lot 2 and 3, I guess I'm still not understanding why that wouldn't have to meet the, the standards of an access road. I mean, if it's gonna be their driveway and it's, it's within the subdivision, it's their access, why wouldn't that have to meet, subdivision standards for a roadway?
That's a very good question. I guess that's, an interpretation that we were reviewing because it was it was an interpretation to just provide driveways. And I think one of the things would be that driveways probably don't have to meet as extensive standards as a road. But we can definitely take a look at that and see, I can review that with the developer.
Well, that's, I mean, we don't wanna create a problem for these future lot owners. We want them to have good access, you know, for the power company to access what they need to with their trucks, the fire trucks, and, you know, other emergency vehicles, and, you know, constructed in a manner that, you know, especially this time of year, in the spring, you know, people are gonna be able to come and go, you know, as needed. And we certainly wouldn't want to approve a subdivision that wouldn't include, you know, an adequate roadway for those lots. And of course, you do have the option always of accessing off from Mountain Road, but I presume in the next step, you'll probably have some contours for us, and, you know, we can see the topography issues and so forth.
Yes, that would be correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's in the process, and we would do some plan profiles of that as well.
I agree with you, Jim. I think it should have to meet the subdivision road. I also understand too that by making them adhere to the subdivision road requirements, then potentially they'll just come off Mountain Road and then they'll end up filling all, the wetlands, and I just don't know what the, right, like, I want the people, the future owners to have a good road and everything like that. But I also understand, like, if we drive them, the bus too hard, then they end up filling all the wetlands in also, which they could do. So, I don't know, I think it's one of those gray areas, maybe.
Kevin, tell us about those wetlands. Is it just, is there a pond there, or is it just, what's the class of wetland? And so forth?
They're what's called forested wetlands, and they're not open water wetlands, and they have a stream that comes out of it that drains down to the shore. So it's really a pocket in between, I'm going to say between some of the ledge and the steep portions of that hill, where the water collects and then trickles out through a stream.
Because there are percentage standards too for grades on driveways and that type of thing, so I'm not sure how that interplays in this either. But that's something that you're gonna wanna look at.
Okay.
If there's...
Yeah, and I will get the wetlands report to you with the next submission as well.
Great.
Okay. So what else, do we have a checklist to go through?
Yeah, I think there's one in here.
It says this is part of a previous subdivision. Can you explain that? I didn't see any, I didn't see where it was part of a previous subdivision anywhere in the documents.
Well, they acquired it with property on both sides of Mountain Road. And if you recall, we've subdivided the westerly portion. But they were considered two separate lots, so they really don't affect that, but we just wanted to, make sure you were aware that that's where we were in the same location. But it's not really part of the same subdivision, but the portion of their property on the westerly side was part of the subdivision.
Okay.
So this is considered a separate parcel because of the road separates it, correct?
Correct, because it's divided by the road.
So that number 5 probably should be no. Because this particular property on the east side of the road is not part of a subdivision, correct? Kevin?
Correct, it wasn't part of the west subdivision.
Okay.
I'll make a note here to explain the east-west a little better
Oh, that'd be good.
in the next application.
So the deed mentions, there's several parcels in the deed. Is this part of the first parcel? I see in the second parcel, there's a reference to plan lots 216 through about 237. So is this part of the,
Yeah, just a second here, I can.
sure. I'm wondering if this is part of the 1902 plan.
Yeah, this property was not part of the 1902 plan.
Was not part of it?
Was not, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure how that would affect it anyway, but,
But,
that's good it's not.
let's see where the tax map is. Yeah, you can see on the tax map, you've got 18 is on both sides. Yeah, on 18 is on both sides of the road.
Okay, yes.
And then down below, the property on U18 was a separate parcel. And then there was also another parcel up to the north, that we came in for a sketch plan earlier last year, but it appeared that, somebody wants to buy the whole parcel, so I don't think we'll be back in for a subdivision.
Okay. That's the one you did a sketch plan on, right? That,
We did a sketch plan on it before, yes.
right. Hmm.
I'm just curious, how come you decided to, not go into lot 3 from Mountain Road?
One was, the access up to the knoll, where the best views are, would be pretty difficult directly from Mountain Road.
Okay. So, okay,
I mean, if somebody wanted to, perhaps not build up on the knoll and just build, closer to Mountain Road, then they could probably easily put an access off of Mountain Road. But, we were anticipating that, you know, the views from the top of that knoll were just
Okay.
amazing, really.
Yeah.
The owners call it the eagle's nest.
Yes.
Any other questions?
We're still looking,
Okay.
we're still looking at the information, so forth there. I'm looking at your list of abutters, and I see you've listed the owners as an abutter on map U18 lot. I guess that's lot
Yeah,
one.
we'll have to take a look at that. That would be updated, because all those lots have been sold on the opposite side.
Okay, you mean on the south side, on the southern boundary there?
Yep, that's been sold, and the lots on the west side have been sold.
Okay,
But I don't think they've been updated in the town's records, but we could find those through the registry.
Those sales are very recent, so.
well, lots, that lot 1-1, I think was sold some time ago. So, years ago, that Jones and Rust Trust.
Yeah.
And I think we ran across that same question when you subdivided on the west side of the road. So, anybody else have some questions?
I'm good.
I don't have any other questions.
No, I'd just like to see it, a more zoomed in topographical of the area.
When you do the topo, Kevin, do you do off the LiDAR, or are you doing them, you go out in person and see? Or is it off just off?
We do it off Google LiDAR,
Yeah,
but we do tie it down, just as check, with some field data too.
gotcha.
But we've been finding that, you know, when we start tied it in with our GPS that it's so close that
It's pretty good, yeah.
it's really a great tool.
All right, you want me to make a motion then? So, you wanna have it on, make a motion to approve the sketch plan with the caveat that we gotta look at the road, the subdivision road further, and the requirements of that. And that most likely, it would probably have to be a subdivision, built to subdivision standards, like, I think that would be the hard part, right? Like, if we let 3 lots
Right.
go,
Yeah. Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
All right.
So your preliminary, your sketches, your sketch plan is approved, Mr. Clark.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks for accommodating my phone. I appreciate that.
okay.
Hopefully you feel better.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We'll probably continue our meeting.